Hey, good morning, Hope City. Welcome to another daily devotional. This is Steve Stewart. We went over Genesis 40 this weekend, and I just thought it was pretty cool. Pastor Matt was connecting the whole passage was talking about the baker, the cupbearer, and it happened to fall in line when we were doing communion as a corporate body, and really cool. Pastor Matt pointed out that we have the baker. We see the communion really in this passage, right? We see the baker represents bread, and if you remember, the baker actually ends up being sentenced to death. And Jesus, remember when he does communion, he's passing around the bread, and he says, "This is my body given for you." And so remember, Jesus experienced a very real physical death, and so we see that in the baker here, and then we see the cupbearer, who was actually ended up being restored. And likewise, remember Jesus, he passes around the cup, and he says, "This is the new covenant in my blood poured out for you." And Pastor Matt, I might butcher his words here, but he pointed out that Joseph's words really were able to restore the innocent. And he's talking about that cupbearer who was restored. And he pointed out that Jesus can restore the guilty, right? And so as I was going through that, you know what that reminded me of? You remember the story of Barabbas? And so I was flipping over to Matthew in 27. That's where we read the story of Barabbas. And so true, right? We see these shadows in the Old Testament that point to the New, but how much more fulfillment do we see in Jesus, where he comes, he lives that perfect life, and he ultimately, when he was betrayed, the people take him before Pilate, and we can read that in Matthew 27, but they take him before Pilate, and he has Barabbas up here, and he's got Jesus, and he asks the crowd, he would traditionally set one free on the Passover, and the people the Pilate finds no guilt in Jesus, and the people still choose to set Barabbas, a known murderer, free, and they want Jesus condemned so badly that they send this innocent man to be crucified. And as you read through here, he very physically took the place of Barabbas on the cross when he was crucified. But look at us today. That is a picture of us. There's a song out there called "I Am Barabbas." Very cool song, I think, of a storyteller, Josiah Queen, that sings that. But I was thinking about that song today when I got this from that message. That's really what it was hitting me from Matt's message this weekend. But likewise, aren't we so much like a Barabbas today? Jesus takes our place very real and spiritually, right? So though we all may very surely experience a physical death, Lord willing, unless the rapture happens here soon, but he takes our place spiritually. And so really, that's just all I want to leave you with this week, is that's what I really jumped out at me in this message. And I just want to encourage you this week to remember your first love. Remember Jesus Christ. Remember that as we go through this world, no matter what we're experiencing, we are no better than Barabbas. Remember, you sin in one letter of the law, you're guilty of them all. We are like this man, Barabbas. But Jesus so willingly takes our place, and we have hope in him. And that's what I want you to remember this week. Don't forget your first love, Jesus Christ. Thank you, Hope City.